So, have you ever felt like you were doing all that you know how to do? You had the mindset, you had the passion, you had everything that one would think you need in order to be successful because that's what people told you that you were supposed to have. But for some reason, you still found yourself in a situation where you were on a ride that you wanted to get off of and you just couldn't find a way to get off. If that's you, then I'm talking to folks who were like me, riding on the struggle bus. I can remember it like it was yesterday, meeting with my executive coach and her saying to me, you doing too much. You need to get off the struggle bus. And guess what, y'all? I thought that I got off the struggle bus. I thought that because I put in time chunks and because I put in strategies and because I was doing the things that were necessary to create a revenue source, that I was, in fact, off the struggle bus. But what I learned, y'all want to know what I learned? I learned that I was still on the struggle bus. I just took a transfer. You ever had a transfer? You know, you are on the bus or you're on the train, because some of y'all on the struggle train. Some of y'all on the struggle plane, but today we're talking about the struggle bus. And you're on the struggle bus and you thought you got off. And just like when you transfer, like I was just recently in Atlanta and I caught the MARTA and I had to go down to Vine Point or 5 points, not Vine Point, 5 points. And we get there so that we can transfer because I was trying to get to the Georgia World Congress Center. And I was able to do it because why? I transferred. I got off one train and I got onto another train going in a different direction so that I can get to my destination. But family, if you listening and this is resonating with you, I want you to say me in the chat. It's okay. It's okay to admit. It's okay to admit it. Say me in the chat. I want you to think about the reality that transferring, this is why it's not good to be on live sometimes, because my son is blowing up my phone and I literally just texted him that I'm on live stream. So go ahead and laugh because y'all know y'all been there before and done it. And he still keeps calling me. So I know other folks is watching me that are related to me. Can you call my son and see what he wants? Thank you. All right. Now back. That was a commercial. Y'all going to laugh because this happened to you. You got off focus and thought you was about to do a thing and you let your kids know this is the time I need to be focused on this and that. And they still call anyways. They still reach out anyways. So you just thank God. You thank God that they did at least reach out, right? So back to the struggle bus, back to the transfer. The reason why I really want to set the tone for you to see exactly what it looks like to be thinking you're going in a good direction, to be thinking you're doing the thing, and to be thinking you're even in the right vehicle, but find out you're not. You literally just change directions, but you're still in the same mode of transportation. So, what is a struggle? What is a struggle, y'all? It's the mission rich strategist. I just jump right in. Because this is what I do. Latonia Monroe Naylor, the mission rich strategist, creator of the Mission Rich Experience. And today we're talking about the struggle bus. What is the struggle bus? Well, a struggle is a strenuous effort in the face of difficulty, resistance, or opposition. In other words, y'all ever did, tug of war when you were a kid and you had field day? I don't know if they even do field day anymore, but I remember when I was younger, we had field day. And we would pull on this big old rope and we would see who is going to be the ones to get the victory. Now, whoever had the biggest strength behind them pulling in the right direction and unity was able to win the tug of war. Well, this is what happens. There are strenuous forces that work against you. And the thing is that if you don't have the right technique, if you don't have the right structure, if you don't have the right people in your strong circle, then what happens is instead of you struggling, instead of you working against the struggle, what you end up doing is working in alignment and in agreement with the struggle. So you're still feeling a force, but instead of working against it, you're working with it. Now, the thing is, struggle is not inherently bad because I just told you. I just told you that you can be doing that tug of war, right? And you can get a victory. And there's a thing that happens when you struggle. There's a growth that can happen. There's a strategy that can take place. There's an understanding that the way that I've been doing it is not a way that I can continue to do it. Okay? I had a sip to that. It's only water. It's already only water. By the way, if you want one of these Mission Rich Experience mugs, let me know. Just drop it in the chat. Drop it in the chat, y'all. So, something being hard and something being a struggle is not the same thing. Does that make sense? Something being hard and something being a struggle is not the same thing. Now, why am I saying that? Let me, y'all know I like to go on my little board. And some people say, oh, you don't want to act like you're teaching in a class. Da, da, da. Let me tell you a secret. I am a teacher, so I teach. This is the way I teach. And so if I'm not giving you something with clarity, then I did not do a good job. And so writing it down often helps me to have the clarity to make sure I'm giving you the clarity. Does that make sense? This is wherein you don't listen to what everybody tells you to do. You have to think about what does the people that you are called to serve want. And the people I'm called to serve, they like when I teach. So we're going to jump into that. Now, hard does not equal struggle. Does not equal struggle. Okay? Hard does not equal struggle. Something can be hard because it requires you to grow, to build, to lead. Something can be a struggle because it is something that is a sustaining that you have to endure, and it's not necessarily resolved, and it requires technique to get out of it. Here's the thing. Something doesn't have to be hard, but it can feel hard. And that's the common or the connecting point between hard and struggle. That's the connecting point between hard and struggle. When struggle becomes your strategy, you are in trouble. I want you to say that with me. When struggle becomes your strategy, when struggle becomes your strategy, then you are in trouble. That means that you're on the struggle bus. Now, I told y'all what struggle meant in the Webster Dictionary, but let me tell you my definition of struggle. My definition of struggle is it's a leadership operating condition that causes an overdependence, an urgency, and a strain. Not only does it cause overdependence, urgency, and the strain, it's something that becomes normalized as a way to move the mission forward. So that is what a struggle bus is. It's when you think that this is the vehicle. Y'all see me trying to make a little bus? When you think that struggling has to be the vehicle that you utilize. And here's the thing, it becomes very normalized when you care, when you respond to people. But the reality is that when you are riding the struggle bus and you are a passenger in this struggle bus, that you tend to end up being the driver of the bus. Why? Because the things that need to be done, you start to do all of the things. You work longer, you work harder, you carry whatever needs to be carried. You're always solving the problems instead of allowing other folks to learn the skill of problem solving and decision making. Yes becomes your response instead of no, maybe let me think about it. Let me see if it works. Let me see if it's part of the strategy of what we're supposed to be doing. Is it in the plan? Yes becomes yes because I can do it, not because I should. Let's sit with that for a second. Yes becomes yes because you can do it, not because you should. Are you feeling me? Am I talking to you? Am I talking to you, mission-driven leaders? Are you seeing how you continue to find yourself driving the struggle bus, not just riding it? Are you seeing how you become this shock absorber of the organization, that whatever happens, whatever the emergency is, you are the one that is always trying to solve it? Now, I know some of you are like, look, I have to. I'm a single member LLC. I'm a solopreneur. I don't have a choice. But you do. You do. You know why? Because it is impossible to run any business all by yourself. There's AI tools, there's coaches, consultants, there's programs that you can go in and learn how to be more efficient, courses everywhere. We have a course in Mission Rich Experience. It's a 3-day experience that you are able to do during your lunch break and learn the strategies of how to identify the things that are leaking in your organization and how is it that I can get to a place where I'm operating and scaling and creating more revenue and a culture that is really strong and healthy, but I'm not burning out. Those are the kind of things that you learn in the Mission Rich Experience, right? But if you don't take that on, if you don't learn how to delegate, if you don't learn how to build a strong circle, if you don't learn how to build a strong team, then you end up driving the struggle bus. But then you say, I'm good. I'm good. You know, I was on a struggle bus before, Latonia, Mission Rich Strategist, because there was a time when I wasn't sleeping. There was a time when I wasn't getting a vacation. There was a time when I was the only one doing the work, but now I have more help. But you still find yourself overcompensating, doing the thing because your mind tells you you are responsible to do all the things and you believe it because you've been doing it. But can I tell you that's a lie? You're not responsible to do all the things, even if you're a solopreneur. Even if you are a solopreneur, you are not responsible to do all the things. So what happens is that your struggle becomes stress that is not healthy. It's not just a wellness issue, it becomes a leadership issue. Why? Because we have this thing. We have this really, okay. My eraser didn't really want to work like I wanted to. But what happens is we misinterpret things. For example, we act out of urgency instead of priority. We act out of control instead of delegation. We act out of immediate relief instead of, watch this, long-term strategy. Now the list can go on. Instead of problem solving, these are all things you're supposed to do as a leader. Instead of problem solving, or put it this way, we focus on problem solving instead of capacity building. And I got one more for you. This is the best of them all. Scarcity. I don't know if you can see this in my screen. Yes, you can. Instead of investment. I want you to write that down. I want you to write that down, that these are part of leadership components that every leader should be able to operate in. And if you're healthy as a leader and you're not on the struggle bus, these are ways for you to learn. Am I on the struggle bus? Am I prioritizing? Am I delegating? Am I strategizing for the long term? Am I building capacity? Am I investing? Am I doing that, or am I always operating from on my left side here? This column on my left side. This is the struggle bus. Now, the question is this. Now that you know the things, now that you know the things, I want you to understand that being on the struggle bus costs you. It costs you. Being on the struggle bus costs you. Yeah, I need to get some of that spray. Listen, because this is not doing what I wanted to do. Now, I tried using the spray, but the spray I use, I don't like it. But if you know one that does work or technique, drop it in the chat. Let me know. Help a sister out. There are 3 things that are impacted when you stay on the struggle bus. Y'all want to know? Do you want to know? Do you want to know the 3 things that are impacted when you're on the struggle bus? I want to see it in the chat. Say yes. Yes, I want to know. I want to know. I want to know what are the 3 things that I am wasting because I'm on the struggle bus, that are costing me as a leader. Number 1, the struggle bus is expensive. Okay? Struggle bus is expensive. The first thing is your money, honey. When you are on the struggle bus, let me tell y'all, when my coach sat down with me, everybody needs a coach. Everybody needs a confidant. Everybody needs somebody that is going to be completely honest with them about what they're doing. I tell my clients all the time, my coaching clients, my consulting clients, I'm going to be straight up with you because I want somebody to be straight up with me. And so here's the thing. When I was on that struggle bus, the first one, not the second one. I don't even know if we're going to talk about the second one tonight. I don't think I have time to get into the second one, maybe next week. But when I was on the first struggle bus, and I even found out what a struggle bus was, and my coach was telling me, you need to get off the struggle bus. I did not understand that because I was on the struggle bus, because I was not having clarity, because I did not have strategy, because I was stressed and operating from a place of deficit instead of abundance, I was not making the money that I could make, even though, let me be clear, even though at that time, I was generating close to 7 figures with one of my contracts that I was doing. I was generating close to 7 figures. And I was struggling on the bus. Can you imagine what I'd have been doing if I wasn't on the struggle bus? So your revenue is affected. Your culture is affected. Okay? Your impact is affected. Now listen, when most of y'all mission-driven leaders, y'all like, I could care less about the money part. I care about the impact. Well, in order to create impact, you need a good culture. If everything's relying on you, you are not going to be very easy to work with. Not only are you not going to be very easy to work with, you're setting up a culture of hyper dependence. And the expectation is that everybody who's a leader in your organization or working with you or working for you is expected to now what? Do the same thing that you've done. The unhealthy habits that you have been doing, you are expecting to normalize because that's what success looks like or motivation looks like in your culture. But you need to redefine what success and motivation and what that looks like. As a matter of fact, you need to understand that if you don't, the mission will absolutely be impacted. You cannot sustainably scale with one person, even if you are a solopreneur. Yes, there's AI tools, but you still need a human team to help you. And that is why you need to get off of the struggle bus. Now, when you get off the struggle bus, don't get off the struggle bus and your operating model stays the same. You got more money, so you feel like you're doing better. You got more freedom, so you feel like you did better. But you still didn't create enough of a infrastructure in a framework so that you can absolutely be able to do the thing without being the system again. Because what happens is if you don't get off the struggle bus for good, you will find yourself on this smaller struggle bus where you are still the operating system, which means it looks like you're doing better because your results have improved, but you're actually still not because you're still allowing everything to run through you. You feel me? So here are some questions that you can ask yourself. Number one, this is how you ask yourself. This is how you ask yourself, am I actually off of all of the struggle buses? Somebody say all of the struggle buses. Think it in your head. I want to be off this struggle bus. I got to get off the struggle bus. I don't want to drive it. I don't want to ride it. I don't want to see it. I ain't standing at no bus stop waiting to get on it. I'm done with this struggle bus. So you ask yourself some questions. I have 4 questions for you. 4 questions for you. Have you reduced your workload or just changed the system? Now you're using AI tools, but you're still up all night. Now you're delegating to a social media manager, but you're still doing the work. Now you're having an assistant, but you still feel the need to do it all because you still don't trust that the person can do the work the way you do it. Have you delegated tasks? That's number 2. And when you delegate the task, do you delegate authority or do you only say, here's a checklist? Because you're still on the struggle bus if you just say, here's a checklist. Number 3, has revenue become predictable or are you just having a good month? That's where I got tricked. And this is how I knew I was on a struggle bus. Because last year this time, actually, it was a little bit before now, I made multiple 5 figures in less than 6 weeks. Multiple. It was the first time I ever made that much money that quick. I had about 4 or 5 training clients. I had people enrolling in my classes left and right. And it was the most I had ever made in that short of a period. But you know what I didn't do? I didn't have the right frameworks. So there was a life-changing thing that happened because of a commitment I made that I had to stick with. And I ended up losing momentum, and that momentum cost me 9 months. I'm finally starting to get that traction back again. And it took me 9 months to get any traction before I started seeing results. And I'm still not even seeing the results that I saw in that time period, but I know it's coming. Why? Because I got off the struggle bus. For real. Could the organization function well without constant intervention. From who? You. Is your business able to sustain even if you're not dabbling and getting involved in everything? Now, again, being a solopreneur, it is something that you have to work through very intentionally. And this is why we have the Mission Rich experience. Because you need that support to be able to see things a little bit differently. We also do VIP strategy sessions. Why? Because sometimes you need somebody to just sit down with you for a couple of hours and help you see the thing and help you design what that implementation looks like. We don't want to be in a struggle model. We want to be in a mission rich model. We want to be in a mission rich model. Okay? What is the struggle model? Resistance, struggle, stress, reactive leadership. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. Your mission rich model is resistance. But resistance changes into strategic capacity, strategic response, and then sustainable impact. And we're going to share this slide with anyone who wants it for you to be reminded. Just let me know in the chat if you want to see these slides again, because I want you to be able to really grasp what I'm talking about. I want you off the struggle bus. There's 3 things I need you to do tonight. There's 3 R's that I want you to practice on tonight. Number 1, I want you to recognize. Number 2, I want you to restructure. And number 3, I want you to reposition. I don't want you to abandon your mission. I don't want you to abandon your mission. What I want you to do, what I need you to do, I'm almost pleading for you to do, because I don't want to see you, like in the next couple of weeks, we're going to have a doctor, a neurologist on here, and we're going to be having a conversation about how stress really affects the body and some strategies that are holistic that you can actually implement. And it's really important that you understand this thing, that you can't do it by yourself, but you can start. So your first thing is, like I said, recognize, write it down. The next one is what? What did I say? What did I say? Restructure. Restructure. Right? The third one is reposition. What does that mean? Don't get back on another struggle bus. When you recognize it, you're learning, what did you normalize? You're learning, what did you normalize that you should not have, that should have been temporary? Because sometimes things happen and you have to do things differently, and that's not meant for you to do it that way all of the time. You have to pick and choose. The second thing is that restructuring. You don't need to personally, let me stop. Let me say that again. You don't need to personally intervene every single time there is an issue. That is what your structures are in place for. Let people be responsible to do the thing they're supposed to do. And if they can't, then you have to make a decision. Okay? You have to make a decision. You already know what I'm saying. Reposition. Move from executing everything to building a capacity that allows the mission to move. Those are the 3 things. So I want you to think about that. I know that, we talk about the Mission Rich experience. We talk about all the things. And what I want to offer to you tonight is that I have about 10 slots available for a Mission Rich capacity assessment. I open these up throughout the month for people to come and sit with me for 30 minutes to really understand, what is your strategic capacity limitation. Absolutely allows you to be completely open and honest and get an initial report to say, hey, here's where you at. And here's the things I recommend, because I know what it is to be a mission-driven leader and be on the struggle bus, because I just told you I was on 2. I don't want you to become better at struggling. I don't want you to organize the struggle. I don't want you to get on a smaller struggle bus. Do y'all agree that you don't want to be on that struggle bus, that you don't want to just be used to struggling? You don't want to feel like stress has to be the thing that I'm enduring and dealing with every single day? I had somebody tell me recently that they got to a place where they didn't want to go to work any day because of the stress. And so I want to remind you that there's a time and a place for you to really understand your capacity, and this is why I'm inviting you, and the link is going to be in the chat for you to be able to sign up, go through the questionnaire, and see if you're a good fit for this conversation. Like I said, at no cost, a strategic capacity assessment. And you can also sign up for the Mission Rich Experience, which we do every single month for 3 days during lunchtime. If I get enough requests, I'll probably do it on an evening or a Saturday or something like that and just go through the whole thing. But I'm waiting to hear from you. What do you want? What is going to work for you to be able to get the information you need so you can get off the struggle bus? If you are watching this video and you have not yet subscribed to at the Monroe Nailer, then I need to encourage you to do so that you can find out anytime we're doing a video. I'll see y'all next week, y'all. It's all good. You're doing good and you can do better. Why? Because you're going to intend to do it. That's why you're here. That's why you stayed with me until the end. And I look forward to seeing you at the next Mission Rich Experience or the next strategic capacity assessment. Blessings.